I'm feeling a strong core or push to share or simplify this. I call it the crucifixion curse, or the Christ crucifixion programming. What is it that causes certain beings to have this adverse reaction to a benevolent being? And it all boils down to generational, because this has been happening over some time now, over at least 200 years. The matrix is very young. It's a very small blip on the grander scheme of creation. Like the matrix is literally 200 years old. It's very small, and it might seem like a lot of damage has been done, but when you look at it, you'll see that it's actually lessons we had to learn, that we could only learn in that age. So what happens is, it has been programmed into the genes that authenticity, leadership, pioneership get punished. Look what happened to Tesla. Before we even go far back into slavery, just look at what happened to Tesla, or any of our ancestors, forefathers, foremothers who wanted to rise up, how they got, and I'm mostly talking about those who haven't been recorded in history, have been hidden, how they got humiliated. Look at the witch trials, just for being a healer, how they got tortured, that torture remains in the genes if we don't heal it, and the fear of torture can stop us from doing certain things. A deep subconscious genealogical fear can stop us from doing things. A nerve wound from our great-grandparents that we're not aware of can stop us from being bold, from being courageous, or from having integrity. We are more puppeteered than we think, and not just by the matrix weirdos. We are controlled by our genes unless we take accountability, unless we decide, no, this is what I want and I'm going for it, no matter how so hard it seems, no matter how many years it takes, I'm going for it. I'm going to make everyone mad along the way. I'm going to release what I need to release, change what I need to change, and I'm not going to give up until I get that vision that I had since my earliest memory. When you're able to do that, that's when you can end the puppet show. But until you do that, you are puppeteered. You are puppeteered by your parents' habits when you were growing up. Whatever you saw your parents doing will control you. Peer pressure, media influence, because now we have that as well. Like I said, genes. So all of these things affect us, and that is why we will have dynamics like the black sheep, or like I like to call it the black wolf, the black bear. I'm a mother effing black mamba. I'm a mother-loving black mamba. It's been programmed into our genes to crucify Christ, to be antichrist. And it happened by us being crucified in our past reincarnations when we attempted to do certain things. So because of that, unless we claim sovereignty, we ourselves are now going to crucify anyone that mimics Christ, because we got crucified. It's a response. We got punished. We saw our little ones tortured before our eyes. We saw our wives violated. We experienced such horrible trauma that now there's this deeper than the subconscious fear of tapping into those specific frequencies. And that is why when we see someone else tapping into that frequency, it's like, no, no, don't do that. I'm not brave enough to do it, so why should you be allowed to do it? And that there is the Christ curse. And that's why it's important for us to work with energies or principalities, like some folks say, to work with energies, to look past the person, because that person is merely possessed. And to become self-possessed, so that you can now be an example and show the frightened that it's okay. It's okay to try again. It's okay to be brave. It's okay to honor yourself. I went through severe disappointment as a child. Amongst the other abuse that I experienced, disappointment was a prevalent thing. Let me make an example. We're extremely highly stressed family because we are being raised by a single self-employed parent, and that self-employed parent treats us like soldiers. We have to fall in. There's no playing outside in the street. There's no friends, none of that shit. Like having friends over is a luxury. It's a once in a blue moon type of thing, where the caregiver was tired or my dad came home one random day. So it's so amazing that the way the trauma is set up, I can't connect her as my mother, but somehow I can still call him my dad. Strange. And I hardly saw him, and he's like kind of the cause of her PTSD. But anyway, so we're in this highly stressful environment, and dad comes home after 3 months or 6 months of no contact. We don't know where is he, no idea, nothing. Pops back home, like, okay, Sunday we're going to Southgate. So the whole week, I mean, we haven't been out in months. It's just been work, school, because there's no home. It's work. Right? So just place yourself in your little inner child, and you are being promised Southgate. Southgate has takeaways. Southgate has arcade. Back then those things were exciting. Sunday. Oh, what was that? No, alcohol abuse is bad. Anyway, Sunday pulls up, right? After a whole week of getting excited, building your 5, 6 year old, how old was I? Yeah, 5, 6 year old self up. You're like ready. You have all of these dreams of Southgate. It's just the more. Sunday pulls up, you get dressed, everything. Mommy's in a bad mood. You go ask, are we still going to Southgate? Bah! And that's just one. I'm just giving you one example. So what that did to me was, I was explaining to my son the other day, I was like, yo, you know what I realized? I'm like in this permanent damage control mode, fixer mode, survival mode. Like it's like I was always ready until very recently, like literally weeks or days ago. I was still in that energy of constantly being the one that must go fix. I'm the one that must go jump in and fix things, and I must do damage control, and I must do conflict prevention, and because that was the role I had as a little kiddie, or that I took upon myself to work, because I really hated like negativity and conflict and just seeing people miserable. I really hated that. And so I took it upon myself, and what it did was it just placed me in this permanent survival mode. And that's what has happened in the Matrix. Because of what we repeatedly experienced over generations, we have placed ourselves now in this place of prevent, we're like, God, like, no, don't do this, because if you do this, that's going to happen. Don't explore art. So you're not encouraged to explore your art. You should rather go become a doctor because that pays well. Just some little examples like that. I mean, we know that there's nothing like creativity to bring out your Christ. What you need to understand is that these beings who have designed this fake matrix aren't men. It's not a patriarchy. Okay? They're not man. They're not men. They are beings that want to be women. Beings that want to be women. They admire the Mother, Allah, Creator, so much that it has turned into a envy. The love has not evolved enough to be love. It went from admiration to, I want to replace you. You know, the myth of Lucifer. That's basically them. The myth of Lucifer is them talking about themselves. Is that they wanted to overpower creation. They wanted to replace creation. They wanted to be worshipped when creation doesn't even want to be worshipped. Creation is too omnipotent to desire worship. Creation just is, whether you worship it or not. Whether you go worship God or not, God is gonna be. I heard. Still evolving, still growing. A being that requires worship, that requires fame, is a very weak being. That is a parasite. Because it needs to constantly feed. It can't be alone. It can't self-sustain. It can't self-recharge, Like something happened today, and a few years ago, this would have been a very sad experience, and I would have been all upset and stuff. But I was able to express my emotions and stuff honestly, express my feelings and talk honestly, and I didn't get upset. And I'm sitting here recording. I haven't recorded in a while, and I've been wanting to record for so long. And I'm like, oh my word, that's some alchemy. That's an example of alchemy, because I was stretching my tomorrow, and I was like, oh my word. It looks so pretty in this candlelight. Let's go record. And I was like, Spirit, you'll give the message. And I opened it on here. And on this page, I started making notes about this whole crucifixion, Introspection that was coming to me. I was like, why people? It actually stems from fear. To be Judas's. To be a Judas is fear. Because in the end, it's the Judas spirit that makes them want to betray something so sacred, pure, benevolent that can actually help them in the long run. To be Judas, you have to have a lower intellect to not see what's before you, to not see that, oh, this is medicine. I can benefit from this. I must actually pay attention to this because this is medicine. No, I'm rather gonna, you know, betray. So anyway, it was really written here, scribbled, and then after I started making notes here, and I was like, oh, wow. And I even have some notes here about like this whole the science behind this whole destiny swapping thing, and how much deeper it goes, and how even gender confusion is destiny swapping, because once they have gotten you to deny your gender, how are you ever gonna fulfill your true purpose in life? Your purpose is attached to your identity. Your true identity is your essence. So if someone can get you to deny your source of life, for example, as a woman, my source of life, when a woman's unhealthy, her whole face. That's why I look 21 with 4 babies. When a woman's womb is unhealthy, her whole face will bother. So that's why, unfortunately, it's very rare to find a healthy person with gender confusion, especially females, because the denial of self causes slouching, um, the abuse of the masculinity in an attempt to protect themselves. Because I know, as a teenager, when I was being a tomboy, it was because I felt safer. And once I remember saw this lady say, she was dressed all masculine, and she said, I dress like this to protect my 6-year-old self. That's why I dress like this. She even said straight, she was like, I'm not lesbian. I dress like this to protect myself. And I was like, whoa, this is deep. And I was even like, I sit and I introspect. I was like, how many males are now stuck in a pattern of shame and thinking that they have gender confusion or they're bi or whatever, all because they were soft-natured. And then because they were soft-natured, society, family, whatever, shamed them, and now they had to find a group to fit in. So then that's the only group that they'll fit into. So now you have this male that's still attracted to females, but he has to upkeep because, this is his identity now that he accepted. And it's not just in gender confusion where people are trapped. People are trapped everywhere. People are trapped in their social circles. People are trapped in their weaves. Like, people are scared to change how they look because they feel like, no, this is how I'm supposed to look. Everybody already knows me like this. I can't change. I remember when I first left the rat race and I just started just getting to know myself, and I started doing braids more than because before it was just always like, the ceramic, you're ironing your hair out, hair was super damaged and stuff. I really struggled with my hair. So the more I now got to know myself, I started doing braids more and stuff. And this one day, some guy in the hood is like, I prefer the old you. And I just gave him this dirty look because guess who said they prefer the old me? My childhood abuser. He's like, yeah, no, I prefer the old you. Oh, so you prefer the stressed out, overworked, always rushing to the turn up every weekend, giving you even more reasons to insult them version. You like that version? Shows your character. Do you see? The authentic, self-aware version was easy to reject, but the overworked, statistic, stereotypical single mother was easy to accept because that's what society said. One of our favorite sayings was, give to Caesar what Caesar's, meaning follow government law. And we all, okay, you can go down the rabbit hole of Caesar and the disgusting, that Esteem, that name that I just said now that I don't want to say the full name, physically actually reminds you of what Caesar looks like in the Asterix and Obelix magazines, books, if you read them. Anyway, but this is just us understanding what's been going on so that we can gracefully, with our rose quartz frequency, gracefully transition into this beautiful new age. Brewers and brewers, we are living in history. We are living in a time that's going to be recorded, that our children's children are going to know about. A time that's going to be in history books and recorded on tablets. I'm honored to be alive, and I'm so excited. I can't be afraid because I'm too excited. If you're struggling with any anxiety, because I feel it, I literally feel in my chest, so I know that there's anxiety frequencies going around. I don't know if it's like intentional conjuring, or if it's just us, as humanity, like getting rid of that, the remnants, because I feel it where it's like, okay, my chest, where's my chest, put inside, and I'll breathe, and I'll even like take those deep, full chest breaths, but if you're talking about that, declare it, say it internally, like declare it, I now transmute all anxiety into anticipation, into excitement, into curiosity. What I realize is everything that you desire will come true as long as you just stay the course. So as long as you keep your intention pure, whatever you desire, they're all going to come at different times. And while you focus on one thing, the other stuff will sneak up on you. And some people pray, some people command. So we can use prayers, for example. You can pray about one thing today, and then tomorrow something else crop up and you're praying about that. And this thing, you won't even notice that it's getting fixed because you'll be so focused on this. That whole power of detachment thing. So just whatever you say will come true. Whatever you write will come true. Okay. Shall I read us a poem? So we can just go. And today the poems, they were flowing, The poem were flowing. I haven't wrote it. My book is very... Because this page was empty. 27th of March. I'm going to read 2 poems for you. Let me sit nicely. Oh, Rapunzel. Oh, Rapunzel, let down your hair, he said. I promise to treat it with care, he said. I let him in, and he snuck into my bed. Then to the wolves, me he fed. That's what just came to me today. Wait, but I know there's 5 lines in this poem. The light is messy with me. It's time for a ring light. Okay. Then. Oh, Rapunzel, let down your hair, he said. I promise to treat it with care, he said. I let him in, and he snuck into my bed. I trusted him, he got into my head. Then to the wolves, it was me he fed. But what he didn't know that I'm the mother of the wolves. So he threw me in there. And they were all like, "Where's mom, guys?" You know, and then they nursed me back to out, and yup, I am. Don't F around. I always joke, I'm like, messing with someone with pure intention. And I know with myself especially, like, how you gonna send demons to their mama? You get what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna send... I'm God's child. That means that I have a primordial frequency in my being, right? So it's like sending things to the creator. When you send energies to someone that walks with source, that walks with creator, it's like you attacking God. By attacking them, you're attacking God because they walk with God, right? God is their shield. How you gonna send demons to their mama? It's like sending Tiamat's 11 jinns to her. They're just gonna go home to mom and be like, "Oh, we're finally safe after all the abuse of the matrix and this false..." Because I was explaining in previous videos, to get any spirit to do your bidding, you have to be on a specific frequency. You also have to have respect. Now, these beings don't have respect. So for them to get any spirit to do their bidding, they have to entrap the spirits, enslave them, use like the Solomon keys and stuff to bind the spirits. That's why I had this dream once of a big bull like this, but in chains. It was like, and that's when I was like, they have to enslave them. So when they enslave these spirits and unleash them on us and come across a being like me, whose frequency is so high that it can literally either burn that spirit to a crisp or like warm it up and heal it. If it's like a frozen spirit or something, can warm it up and heal it, can transmute the energy, can turn it into vapor. Okay, let's do offering number 20. I didn't even read through this. Let me see. A herd of sheep can't defeat a wolf. You got in too deep, now you feel aloof. The gangbangers made your ish go poof. Shame. No regret. Oh, shame and regret through the roof. Someone watching your every move. Nothing to show for all you gave your crew. Tried to warn you, but you acted like you knew. I was the only one true to you. You chose to act like a Jew. Chaos and confusion in everything you do. Nothing to gain. So I make a case study out of you. Oh, okay. Let me read it again. The lighting is a bit lightning. Okay. A herd of sheep can't defeat a wolf. You got in too deep, now you left aloof. The gangbangers made your ish go poof. Shame and regret through the roof. Someone watching your every move. Nothing to show for all you gave your crew. Tried to warn you, but you acted like you knew. I was the only one true to you. You chose to act just like a Jew. Chaos and confusion in everything you do. Nothing to gain, so I made a case study out of you. Okay? I mean, if you can't give me anything, I might as well learn from your mistakes and teach others about them. Okay? Okay. I'll see you next time. Arigato. Beautiful rose quartz frequency.